So thank you all for joining us this morning. This is really exciting. This is our first virtual tour of Volunteers of America. My name is Christy Holderager. I'm the Vice President, Chief Development Officer. I'm here at Volunteers of America, and this program is really special to me because this is where I started 29 years ago with Volunteers of America. I worked part-time at this program site that we're going to be touring, and also at our admin office. This program that we're visiting today, Options for Recovery, again, was one of my first introductions to homeless services or traumas that people experience in their life and don't know how to deal with them. With that, I wanted to introduce you to Marcia Lucian. She's our Regional Director of Rehabilitative Services, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about options, and I'm going to ask some questions. So Marcia, can you tell us a little bit about how many women are able to come to this program?
So at this time, we have the capacity for 26 women and 12 children, children that are 5 and under. So with that, we really have the opportunity to put lots of moms with their babies and get them learning parenting skills, get them really started with a strong foundation in their recovery and kind of able to move on to the next piece, which may be transitional housing, which may be going back home with outpatient care. This is really their foundation level. This really gets them a really solid footing in recovery, and for a lot of them in active parenting for the first time.
Marcia, can you tell us a little bit about the type of woman that has come through this program and why is this program so important to them?
Well, actually, Christy, we get all types of women. That's the phenomenal thing about substance use disorder, is it doesn't discriminate. So we get all kinds of women, ages varying 20 to 40, from all types of different backgrounds. We've had a number of really young mothers where this is their first time having a child. We've had a more experienced mom where maybe they have 4 children or 5 children, but this is going to be the first time that they are able to give birth and actually bring their baby home, or it's the first time that they're actually participating in active parenting where the child isn't with another family member. So they're doing that while they're trying to set their recovery foundation, and that's a phenomenal thing.
Marcia, I remember when I was out here years ago that a lot of the women that were coming through have experienced, I think it was like 75 to 80% had experienced domestic violence in their life or sexual assault. And a lot of the women were starting to use at an age of 15, 16 years old. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is that a typical age?
I think in terms of starting with substance abuse, yeah, I think that's fairly typical. There are a variety of reasons that bring a person to that place, but I think it's fair to say that there are some things that we see repetitiously. So domestic violence would be one of those things. Some sort of family trauma or childhood trauma would be one of those things. Sex trafficking or being a sex worker might be one of those things. So although everyone's story is different and unique, those are some things that we see somewhat regularly, kind of threaded through stories.
I remember probably 29, 28 years ago, shortly after I started with Volunteers America, meeting one woman in particular that I'll never forget, and her name is Susan. Susan had about 20 years of drug history use. She had been living under a bridge here in Sacramento, and she had already lost 2 children to Child Protective Services, and she found herself pregnant again. And Susan delivered baby Jordan at UC Davis Hospital, and as soon as baby Jordan was born, he was whisked out of the room. She wasn't able to really see him. She wasn't able to hold him. And because he tested positive for drugs in his system, and she had to open Child Protective Services cases. And so she laid there and she cried. And a social worker came in and said, if you ever want to see this baby, you need to go into recovery because he will be adopted out. And it seemed really harsh, but that was reality. And she knew that she was going to die out on the street if she continued with her addiction, and she just desperately wanted to be a mom. So Susan agreed to come in voluntarily into the program, and she came in and she hit the ground running. She did all of the parenting classes, the relapse prevention, anger management, understanding the trauma, understanding what drugs and alcohol did to her unborn child, to her own system, to her brain. And she just did everything she was asked to do. And so within a few weeks, the staff advocated for baby Jordan to be placed in her custody here at Options to start bonding. And every time a baby comes home to the facility, they have a big baby shower and excited about, having this newborn here at the program. And the morning that baby Jordan was to arrive, we got a call from Child Protective Services that morning and said that baby Jordan had died of SIDS the night before. And I still remember that like it was yesterday. And all the staff came to work early that morning, and Susan's mom was there to break the news to her. And what was really remarkable is that Susan didn't relapse. She stayed in the program, and I don't know what I would do if I lost one of my kids. But it was because of the staff here that loved on her and helped her grieve and gave her all the tools to continue her recovery. And she graduated from here. She went to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor, and she got married, and she got custody of her other two children, which almost never happens today. But it just shows you that you never know the person that you're seeing in the street that's holding a sign or camping out or in a tent. You don't know what they can accomplish with some support and some resources. So that's just one of the miracles that happens every day. And we have hundreds of women that go through this program. About 60 women a year go through this program for chemical dependency that are moms, have children under the age of 5 or pregnant. And of those 60 women, about 15 of them are pregnant and deliver healthy drug-free babies every single year, which is remarkable. So we're gonna walk downstairs. Is there any questions that came up, Anna, that I could answer quickly?
None that I have seen so far.
Okay, great. Well, we will walk downstairs and we'll take some questions again, but we're gonna go down and meet Kyla, who's gonna tell a little bit about her story. So hopefully this isn't too wobbly while we go downstairs, but here we go. We're interrupting a substance abuse counseling session. So Kyla's going to come over and tell her story. Can you hear me okay, Anna? Great. Hi, Kyla. So this is Kyla.
Hi.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your story? What kind of brought you here?
So the same story pretty much. Okay. So I had tried crystal meth years ago, maybe about 6, 7, 8 years ago, but I consider myself to kind of be functioning. This last run, I relapsed in December, right around Christmas. So all this year, 2020, January, February, March, I was pretty much using the whole time and was going crazy. I wasn't leaving my house for like 5 days. Also felt like cameras were in my house. My phone was recording me. Satellites were following me. And I wasn't taking care of my baby. Like, just because I wasn't hungry, I wasn't feeding him properly. I would make easy foods. Like, I planned on getting into rehab, so I wasn't doing major grocery shopping. I would go to the dollar store to get food. So I would prepare like easy meals. And I had just moved into my place like 6 months prior. So I didn't have like a microwave or anything. So I put everything like in the oven. Like a couple of times, like when I was coming down, I woke up to my my smoke detector. but because I would put the food in there like egg rolls and then forget about it. So I was in a bad place, like a really bad place. I was heartbroken over my son's dad, us breaking up, and yeah, I used that like to cope. My coping skills were pretty much non-existent.
What did you get here?
I got here May 1st. So I've been here 18 days and I see the difference. Like, I'm so much more hopeful. I'm so happy. I could not get a week clean. I could not, and I never was that weak. And then with the COVID-19, I used that as an excuse of not working. My welfare is not that much, but like I didn't even do Postmates or like, anything to make any extra money because my social anxiety would get so bad when I was using. It would get horrible, like, and then his dad started telling me like, take the baby to the park. So I was using that as like grounding. Like I would go by the water. Howell Park has ducks. McKinley Park downtown, they have the pond. So I would go there, sit in the grass and like just try. And as long as I was clean, I was okay. But as soon as I used, like, it would take me back to like the rock bottom of the addiction.
What tools have you gotten here?
Tools, just hope, surrender, prayer, meditation, journaling. I started that back up. Positive thinking. Those are the main ones right now. Besides that, learning about my disease, learning about my addiction, the 12 steps. We're studying the 12 steps. So knowing that my disease is bigger than me, and that I have to resort to the power of my higher power. So I'm hopeful. Like, I have my baby here. I'm glad that it's like, it was close by. Like, my car is around the corner. My baby was able to come. Like, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So thank you. All right.
Thanks, Kyla. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kyla. She's going to go back to her class. And what does Marcia have here?
I'm getting my baby look at that. Look at that. You got some amazing moms here.
Look at
Babies.
that hair. When I first saw this baby yesterday, I thought she was holding a doll. All right. We are going to walk through and see some of the dorms on our way out. Thank you. Good. Yeah. Thank you. Oh. Hey, Cash. Hi. Hi, Cash. This is Cash. Say hi.
Hi, Ken.
Say hi. Hi. Where's your shoe? You're missing a shoe. And we're just going to quickly walk through. This is the dorms. I'm not sure if you can really see. There's murals on the walls. All of the rooms have a bathroom in between each. And this was something I wanted to show you. There's some signs that the moms make during one of the sessions. And I'm going to take my mask off because there's nobody here. But this one says, there are no limits to what you can accomplish except the limits you place on your own thinking. And when life puts you in tough situations, don't say, why me? Say, try me. So these are some of the affirmations that they work on. And we're just walking through this dark, long hall. Yeah, let me show you one of the rooms. So sometimes the moms don't have their children with them if they're either pregnant and they may be sharing a room with another mom that has a child with her. So each one's a little bit different. And we're gonna walk out the back door, and it's 9:54. I think we're doing pretty good. Little alarm. And this is the backyard. Not sure if you can see it. We have a little garden here, little Zen garden. They do yoga once a week and meditation. One of the things that I wanted to just also, again, thank everybody for coming today. You guys really do make our work possible. This year, just from COVID alone, we're looking at a $900,000 deficit gap in what it takes to run our programs and what we actually get from the government. So I know for this program in particular, do you recall what the gap is just for this program?
For this program, we are somewhere around that as well. I believe it's like 108.
108, yeah.
In general.
Okay.
And then with the additional COVID expenses, we're certainly finding ourselves in a tighter situation. Yeah.
But again, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. You have both Anna or my email address or our phone numbers. Please reach out to us and let us know if there was any questions that came up after our tour. And again, thank you so much. We hope to see you guys soon. All right.
Thank you all.